Hello, 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 and welcome to the third Summer Cup bonus episode of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop, and joined with me is Van.
Hello.
We are recording on August 3rd, 2024. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the Reign's third and final match of the 2024 Summer Cup against the Thorns down in Portland, as well as some of the other action from the quarterfinals in Women's Soccer Olympics. But first, a reminder. The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder Heart Podcast Network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sounder Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything that we're doing. We just got another paid subscriber.
Yeah, shout out Jim.
Anything going on with you?
Other than the fact that I watched like 7.5 hours of
I was
soccer
like,
today.
my brain is like fried right now.
Yeah. I stayed out late last night. Went to the movies and went to Twisters.
Fun.
It was like badly good.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that's what you want out of Twisters.
Yeah. So it was fun. Had a good time. But yeah, no, and then woke up at 5:55 this morning. I set my alarm for and got up to watch the most boring game that we will talk about a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a snooze fest for a while.
Yeah. But let's talk about the rain. We have to.
Well, the good news is this will be our last time talking about a match until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of break from that thanks to being eliminated from the Summer Cup.
Yeah. You want me to do the match recap?
Yeah, get into it.
All right. On Wednesday night in Portland, the Reign played the Thorns in their final group stage match of the Summer Cup. Portland scored in the 40th minute after Linehan was able to wake her way past Shea Holmes on an attacking run. McLaren tried closing her down, but Linehan got a shot off on goal and put the Thorns up 1-0. Despite the Reign having 19 shots to Portland's 8, Reign were unable to convert any of their chances and lost the game 0-1.
Broken record. We're a broken record.
Yeah, I know. So frustrating.
We could just like maybe release the same episodes we've put out and then just like edit the names of the teams we're playing and then insert goal, like score or whatever, but like not completing chances is like the theme of this season.
Yeah.
Or just not having threatening chances. One of the two. Because I feel like the chances aren't usually that good anyway, so.
No. I mean, unless it's a sitter that's getting missed by a certain forward.
Yeah, I think we all have to have that discussion at some point. There's some issues I think that haven't been solved that you need to see solved from some of your forwards.
Yeah.
And it sucks because we've grown to love these players. We've seen them play well, but if you want the team to start winning and they don't step up and perform when they need to, then things got to change.
Yeah. It's that. I mean, the goal was just kind of like, you should not get scored on near post. As a goalkeeper, you should not get scored on near post. I will say though, Ivory does like kind of slip.
And she recovered from the slip okay. I watched it multiple times and she did recover from it pretty well.
She recovered pretty well, but then she wasn't able to get far enough towards the post.
Yeah.
To cover that space. And to her credit, when a similar situation happened in the second half, she came up big. It's just one of those fluky things where Portland took advantage of their chance and we didn't.
All how many was it? 19 shots we had. We couldn't figure out one of those.
It was like 8, or how many were there on goal?
5 on target.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's getting so old.
It really is.
Especially since this was our first match of the Summer Cup where we're playing our vets, and was hoping things would maybe be a little bit different in that front. But it wasn't. And I mean, it was a rival match, right? So it's obvious we're going to try to put a good lineup out with the players you have available, but nothing came of it.
So I've kind of decided it's like very exhausting being so disappointed every game. So I've decided that I'm going to take an optimistic approach for the rest of the year.
It's funny that that's your choice. You can take that choice. When I started getting frustrated watching the Sounders when they were starting to suck last year and a half, 2 years, I just told myself I'm not going to let men disappoint me anymore. But I can't really do that here.
Exactly. And I'm going to keep watching. I love the team.
I know, that's the thing.
And so it's like, why make it worse for myself?
Yeah.
Let's go, ladies. Let's go. Come on. I mean, I'm also going to be hypercritical, but as an outlook,
It's
as a whole.
well, okay. So if we want to be optimistic, we did get to the final last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we just needed to get the right pieces plugged in for the players that we lost. Which one of them has joined the team.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the player? I don't know, but why not? Could be.
Yeah. I mean, game one. Like, let's watch this. Like, game one, she comes in, scores a banger.
Could change the energy of everything.
Yeah, it really could. That speed up top, having her train with the players that we already have that are slow or slower, and having to compete with that, like that could really change it.
Yeah.
It could change the training environment. It could.
Which it's been pointed out that her statistics don't tend to lean towards being an outright goal scorer, which has kind of been the criticism of the Reign and what they need to get. But maybe it's somebody who's more threatening with this, laying in balls could be the thing that helps the people needing to finish if we're going to be optimistic.
Well, we have like all out brutes that will put their body on the line to just get in the way of the ball when it's coming towards the goal and try and put it in.
Yeah. Haidema, Latsko. I've seen Balser do it, but like especially Haidema and Latsko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they have to do is like get a body part on it. If she gets into just like a dangerous spot, could change everything,
It could. Maybe I've been looking at it all wrong. Maybe that is what we needed, not the outright goal scorer. But I wouldn't mind if we had one of those too.
But sometimes outright goal scorers come out of nowhere.
Yeah. And we've had we've had goal scorers that are currently on our team. They're just not doing that right now.
Right.
So maybe it's just a matter of getting them back on that with the right pairing.
And Montesir seems like she's got a really good vibe.
Yeah.
And that she like wants to come in and like be flashy and like bring flair. And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I know from my experience, like on my W League team this season, it was like the second somebody like hit a dope backheel pass, there was like 3 more that game from different players. And it's like sometimes you just need that person to come in and be like, oh yeah, that is an option. Oh yeah, I can make that run.
Yeah.
And she's coming from a completely different environment.
Yeah.
A country that's, never had a Haitian born player in the league. So we'll see.
We will see. And also what I think is really beneficial because of the Olympics and because he just got knocked out of the challenge or the Summer Cup, we're going to have several weeks to get her acclimated. That's going to be very, very valuable.
Yeah, and I don't know what the plan is for Quinn and Haidema, but the Canada game today, they're going to be coming home at some point.
Yeah,
so they're going to be on good rest. Whether or not they come back to train or not,
they usually give them a little bit of a break coming back just because of the environment being a little hectic and
right. But I mean, like if they stay because some athletes like just stay in France for the closing ceremony.
They don't get booted out like they do for the World Cup. So yeah, and I wouldn't blame them if they wanted to hang out. That sounds got to reset, especially when you got to come back to the Reign and when you go run up the rest of the schedule, you got to get ready for that mentally.
Yeah, and with everything that's going on with Federation, they need a break.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the game against Portland.
I mean, we lost, but we did lose by a lot, which means we helped eliminate Portland.
Yeah, because it was Portland only scored 1 goal, and the tiebreaker was goal differential.
And we lost to Portland last time 4-0 in Portland. So I would say that, I mean, it wasn't a win, but knocking Portland out of a tournament by not losing more, that's a win.
Yeah. It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
So shout out to June Ash Eden, Sandra Hart, Ride of the Valkyries, contributor, writer for the post game article, which is titled "Reign Eliminate Thorns from Summer Cup" with 1-0 loss.
That's right. We did. You gotta hang on to these things when you have them presented to you. So take that, Portland. I mean, Utah just came out and like did the unexpected.
Oh yeah, they just demolished Tijuana.
Yeah. I mean, good for them, I guess. I'm hoping they're gassed by the time they come back into the league, when it starts up again, because they're going to go deep and lose maybe in the Challenge Cup or Summer. I keep calling it Challenge Cup, the Summer Cup. And then they'll stay in last place and we won't get last place.
Right.
But of course, as we said, we're going to tear up the schedule after that. Like, we're going to be so good. So I guess we don't need to worry about
I think we're going to
Utah.
be fighting. I think we're going to get some points out of games.
Oh my God. I
am asking them to prove me wrong.
I'm very skeptical. But well, I'm happy to be surprised. Rest of the game, positives. Jordan Bug.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I texted you and I was like, she's the real deal.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just put that in my notes.
Yeah. I put, what did I put in my notes? Bug seems solid. I don't throw the word solid around unless it's like, that's a big word for me to put out. Very solid. And that's like for a kid, that's what you want.
Yeah, Shea Holmes had a lot of good things to say about her after the game. So they also recognize the kind of player that she is at her age.
Which I guess is good to know that if we're not going to focus on the draft, that this is our new plan. I don't know.
Her backup plan.
Well, we didn't used to be able to sign young kids, right? So like this was never really an option we had before if we didn't try in the draft, which we have rarely ever done, if ever, like with real conviction.
Right.
So I think this is maybe our new path to developing players and stuff like that.
Yeah. Huerta, I thought, played well.
Yeah.
She didn't start last game. She didn't start the Tijuana game. So starting this game was good to see. She just doesn't have a lot to work with,
Yeah.
And she's covering a lot of ground. I will say a positive for me was that there wasn't like an absolute breakdown in the shape of the back line.
Except, that one goal was bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same way it's been bad and that I've been complaining about for like the last 4 games. So,
Yeah. They definitely limited Portland's chances, which is saying a lot for this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take that for sure. And also knowing how the Tijuana game went.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're learning.
We will hope.
Yeah, it's learning and then being consistent, right? That's been the issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to shout out, McCammon. There was a chance in the first half with Latsko, and McCammon got a start as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she laid this really great ball up the field to find Latsko. Latsko wasn't able to finish it, as we know, because the score was 0 for us.
Yeah.
But that ball from McCammon, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I would probably say that was the best chance of the game.
Yes, definitely.
Unfortunate. Goalkeeper did a good job coming out and cutting off the angle. But yeah, that ball, the way it was weighted well. The run was really good. It seemed like they were on the same page, so that's encouraging.
Something to keep an eye on with her, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We can see any of that. More, what position does she play usually?
I think they had her at like the 6.
Okay.
The 8.
That's been a position I feel like we've been kind of I don't know, not super set on who we're sitting back there always.
She was, so the way that they have the score sheet set up on the Rain Media Guide, they have it as a 4-3-3, and she was right mid.
Okay, and then they have like the average position, and she's like sitting just behind the center circle on the right. Okay, yeah, if we can get her in the attack a little bit, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely something that could allow Fishluck to go up a little bit further too.
Yeah, that would be really nice, because as we've noted for a while, Fishlock is so much more productive when she's central and up a little higher.
Yeah, I guess the problem with Fishlock is she kind of just does whatever she wants and feels is needed in the moment, which is great. I'm not like upset about that. But
I wish she felt like we needed to score like she does when she plays for Wales.
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel like if we have like a little bit of better like coverage in the back and she feels fine about what's happening back there, not needing to track back there, then that should allow her to do what she's really good at, which is figuring out goals and goal opportunities.
Otherwise the attack was a bit underwhelming. Balser kept shooting the ball from outside the box, which is fine if you're not penetrating, well into that final third. You're gonna have to take those shots from outside the box because that's where you're finding your space. But on target, no. One was saved, but there wasn't a lot on it. So
I don't know at what point we need to have a serious discussion about Bethany Balser. She keeps missing, I would say, opportunities that she hasn't always missed in the past. Or maybe she'll miss them, but like she'll get the next one, right? It's not like it seems like every single game we're getting like 2 or 3 really big chances and she's just not doing what she needs to do for someone in her position.
Yeah.
Because I went and looked up, Adames came on. I wrote in my notes, Adames is elite. And she was only on the field for, what was it, like 27-ish minutes. And she had as many passes in the final third as Boats did, who was on there for 66 minutes. And I know that's not Bethany's role, in the box, and like obviously Adama seems to be more of a like create, she likes to create chances too, not just take them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like that's kind of an issue.
It is a lot of an issue.
Yeah, I just feel like we need to maybe give some other players maybe some more minutes and maybe put some people in positions where they feel like they need to fight for their starting position, not just give it handed to them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't play Balser.
Wouldn't start her?
I wouldn't play her at all.
Really?
At what point has she come on and been productive?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be real about it, it's Adamas has scored a goal, and she's getting a third of the playing time.
Yeah.
Granted, you're not trying to burn people out, but she's not getting playing time in the regular season. Balser is.
What's because I think she's still at 3 goals this year, right? For the season. Let me double check it.
I thought they said 5 on the broadcast, and I was like, that many?
She has 5 goals this season.
Oh, so that's right.
1,088 minutes played. I know at least 2 of those are penalties.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where I was thinking of the 3. So you've got 3 goals in the run of play or set pieces or whatever. Not good enough, I would say.
100%. No. I mean, but none of our forwards have been good enough.
Yeah. To be fair, not totally her fault. I feel like every week we're just talking about like these sitters that Boats is missing.
Yeah, you also like you have to worry about, player welfare and, are you really going to throw somebody into a slump if you're not, giving them any time?
Yeah.
So, I can sit here all I want and be like, yeah, she doesn't deserve to play.
Yeah.
But as for like a well-rounded roster, but then again, you've also ostracized a bunch of these other players that never got minutes and are now being productive. So it's like,
yeah, you got to find the balance. That's the coach's job, not mine. And maybe I don't know, like they keep acting like training's going really well. So like, is she finishing these chances in training? And like, that's why they're just like, maybe this will be the game that she figures it out. But like at some point, maybe we need to mix it up.
100%.
As much as I love her, I think it's maybe time to mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I don't see it from her, whether she's coming off the bench, whether she's creating opportunities, but nothing ever comes of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like adds to the frustration. So at one point, at some point, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, definitely.
Get Adamas in. Just swap her out for Adamas. Adamas is
ready.
Literally like
she's ready. She's ready, and she's so good.
Her and Latsko up top.
Yeah.
Like if we had another game this weekend or this week, her and Latsko up top all day.
Yeah. Since we're in the negatives, and when we lost, I guess we should get into more negatives.
How about things we can improve on?
Things we can improve on.
I don't know. I'm trying to bring this positivity front, okay?
I don't know. Sometimes it did feel like, and I guess our defense did hold, because it did feel like Portland was kind of just having their way with us sometimes when they had the ball, like toying with our defense. That's like kind of how I thought of it. They were just like playing around, and we were just kind of like chasing it at times. Maybe that's just because our midfield situation wasn't what we would normally want it to be, but it was a little hard to watch because, Portland's got a lot of big players missing with this Olympics. And I feel like we shouldn't have been looking that kind of overplayed in certain moments like that.
I don't know. I think when it comes to things like that, from like a player standpoint or game standpoint, when they're just playing the ball around, if it's not threatening,
doesn't matter.
That possession doesn't really matter. But you don't want to be chasing the ball all game long because then you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
And so there's a time to let it happen. There's a time to let it happen. And then there's a time to be like, all right, now it's time to step in. Like, let's double team. Let's win the ball back.
Yeah, I guess that's where my issue is it was happening. And then what was our attack?
Well, that's the other thing. So it's not really so much about that. It's like the midfield, like being able to, regain possession and then, create that next phase.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It just looked lackluster. Very lackluster for me.
Yep.
Non-related to players on the field, the commentators decided to do like an anecdote about Quinn because they're in the Olympics, right? And I honestly don't even remember what the anecdote totally was because I was just like angry because they just kept misgendering, like using the wrong pronouns for Quinn over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was like a whole antidote with like several like back to back to back wrong pronouns.
Yeah, it was like a whole like paragraph essentially about Quinn that they were reading off. She was reading off. That's her pronouns. You see what I'm doing here? She was reading them off about Quinn, and I don't know. So we looked up the names of them. I believe it was Marion Crowder, who was misgendering Quinn. Jamie Watson was the other person on the call, which I do feel like maybe when you're in a booth like that and you got the game sheet, right? Like I feel like pronouns are there. You also, if you're gonna have an anecdote about Quinn, a non-binary player, like that's kind of a big part of this whole situation and why it's so cool. Shouldn't you know that? And then maybe the other person can kind of like give them a gentle reminder of some kind.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've been finally getting it right in like the last year and a half.
Oh yeah, and this just totally just like bombed it out of the park.
Yeah,
Just like the worst.
yeah. Because and I will say I've heard someone else using the wrong pronouns, but they catch themselves
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll go back and correct, which not ideal because this is their job. I feel like they should do the research, get it right the first time.
There's literally one player in the league. It's not that hard to remember. I just don't understand. Like, and if you're writing this up, or if you think, oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to be talking about this,
Yeah, because Quinn wasn't even on the field. Like you're bringing it up to like educate people. You're educating people, and you don't even have the information correct.
do better.
Do better.
They need to do better.
There's no excuse. I mean, even like
Either correct yourself, say it right the first time, fucking correct yourself, or just don't fucking say anything at all.
yeah,
Nobody wants to hear that.
yeah. I think that's pretty much it on that. I think we also need to call it out when we hear it.
Mhm.
I'm sure someone is hopefully. I would hope someone's in their emails or whoever's their boss is following up on this because it's really not okay. Moving on, wanted to start maybe a new thing since the rain aren't doing great. Things we
Could
might,
improve.
yeah, things we could improve. I wanna have a segment where it's like things we'd like to see.
Mhm.
So things I would like to see for me starting off. I would like to stop taking shots when like there's a defender literally right in front of you. I know
Mhm.
sometimes the ball can like sneak through a leg or whatever, but I feel like that person needs to be like a little bit, maybe like a couple yards out from you for that to work. Maybe a yard to get it through the legs. But I feel like I'm seeing players take shots, and this is where our shot count is going up really high because they're not good shots. They're
Right.
just like hitting a defender immediately.
Well, there's just, you can see such a skill difference between, like, take for instance Trinity Rodman's goal that we'll talk about in a bit,
Oh yeah.
but the ability to create space for yourself when you're like in the box and you're
Mm-hmm.
in that tight crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and just to be quick enough to bam bam make space and get a shot off,
Yeah.
just don't have that quickness.
Yeah. I want to see them figure something out with that.
Yeah, it's definitely something you need to focus on because this has happened, God,
All
probably
season. All season.
yeah,
I'm saying it all season.
just smacking balls into people, and it's like, that's not
It's like
dangerous.
a pet peeve. It's a pet peeve of mine, I think, just regardless. But when I see it happening with my team more than like a handful of times, I'm just like, oh my God, why are we doing this? Like, do something different. Do something different.
I don't know, at one point, at some point, I'm like, are you just like trying to pad your stats here?
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of looks like that sometimes.
You know?
The next thing, I think we can both agree on this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
More Adames. We want to see more Adames.
More
We
Adames.
we already went into that, so we'll just move on from that. But what did you have something else too?
Yeah. So a little bit what we were speaking to earlier with Balser just taking shots from like 20 yards out.
Mm-hmm.
Need to find a way to like penetrate through and get behind,
Mm-hmm.
or be more dynamic in the 18.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, you're getting those shots off, but you don't really have any hope for them. So we need to find a way to just add a little bit, just try to get closer.
Yeah.
Honestly, like as a goalkeeper, when you're just seeing them smacking shots from 20 yards out, you're like, oh, we're fine.
Yeah, nothing's they're like desperate. They're getting impatient. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, like, if that's what you have, sure, take it.
How many but my question is how many bangers have we seen from our team anyways? Like these people trying them. It's not like a thing that they're like known for.
I mean, Ji So Yoon,
Yes, I will say G is maybe the exception and then Fishlock. But
Adamas.
okay, good point. But we already said I want more Damas so that she doesn't count to this critique, but like
From Balser,
like
none.
I'm confused why Bethany is trying to take a banger, trying to get a banger goal. She has done it. I don't know if she's been working on it more, but guess what? It's not working right now.
Yeah. So I would like to see them be more dynamic in that final third and honestly just have more support up front.
Yeah.
And not support that's just standing there.
But I mean, Bethany, the reason she was so good for us is because she was getting headers.
Yeah.
So can we figure that out again?
I would love that. But I also think when you have Latsko running around like crazy, right? Trying to like get into any sort of space, like she's a smart player and she's a hardworking player. And then you see her, kind of trying to cut through the back line, make some runs, and then they're just kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
Sure, she's not like throwing her hands up in frustration because she's an adult, but like at some point you got to get somebody to keep doing that to you and get you players who can see that pass and can see that alley.
I think for this week that'll do. We've got, I mean, I'm glad that again we have some time to rest. Wrapping up this match, cooler player of the match, who we got?
Jordan Bug, our first teen
Oh God, that's frightening.
in her second game.
And also like just signed. Good for her. Congratulations to Jordan Bug.
Welcome to the Cooler Player of the Match Hall of Fame, Jordan Bug. We will buy you a root beer.
Do we want to take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break before we move on to the Olympics.
We'll be right back. The Cooler Guild is brought to you by the Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our very first sponsor.
The Doctor's Office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a rain match. I really love the swanky environment that also provides knowledgeable and personal service. Next time you stop in, celebrate Marta extending her international career with Brazil's win over France by ordering the Bom Dia cocktail. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person. Cheers.
Cheers. Blink.
Blink.
And we're back. Olympics quarterfinals. Great news. The US won and beat Japan. Dramatic win, too.
Dramatic win.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, they looked like crap the first part of the game. I was on the Discord, because if you a Sounder at Heart subscriber,
Paid
get access
subscriber.
to the paid subscriber. You get access to the Discord, which is really fun conversation during the games. I really liked all of the people like pulling the mask off of Emma Hayes, and it's just Vlatko.
We didn't have any subs for the whole first part of the game, or like the regular
And
part of the game.
you kept pretty much the same starting 11, minus putting Corbin Albert in. You had Roosevelt and you had Haran in the midfield.
Do you think Haran had a horrendous game?
Extremely horrendous. I don't even know why she's playing. Like she looks lost. She looks lost. She's giving the ball away. Sure, she does clear the ball off the back line at points, when we're back there for like a set piece or something. But God, it's so annoying. People are like, oh, she's so good. I'm like, are you blind?
She has good games, and I try to give her credit where credit is due, but the bad games that she has, it's just the way that this team is set up, it just like the whole thing doesn't seem to work if she's having a bad game.
Yeah.
Which I guess speaks to maybe how valuable she is, or it's just like, should we have been trying somebody different for a long time? Because if she's on the field and they're depending on her for that position, it can be rough. It can be very rough when she's having a bad game.
Well, and I think like what I talked about with when we were kind of previewing this Japan game, I said, well, we're talking about how good our front three is, and it's like, well, if they keep our front three from really getting the ball, they're just going to deal with our like mediocre midfield, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, Roosevelt was doing everything she possibly could. Had an okay game, but like
Japan executed the game plan they had wanted to execute.
Yeah, I mean, they were extremely disciplined, really played well, and they definitely deserved to go into extra time.
Definitely.
So you're starting pretty much the same starting 11, who this is their fourth game in 10 days. And then Emma Hayes does not make a sub until extra time starts.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like so many of the teams I follow just like don't use subs. at the times I expect subs to be used.
Well, and I think like too, it just really drills in the idea to those subs that they're not valued.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't want to be inching into the culture.
Like injuries happen, things come up at any point in the game, right? First half, second half, before the match even kicks off, stuff happens. And this doesn't give you the like I can do this if they're not even getting minutes in normal circumstances.
Yeah. And kind of had that issue a bit with Emily Fox today when she came off, which was extremely worrying. Seemed to me that she might have just like hyperextended her knee.
Mm.
That's kind of what it looked like to me. But I've been saying quietly but loudly at the same time, she's been one of the most solid players for the team this tournament. She's been like kind of just like a quiet, steady force on that side.
Yeah. What if she gets injured though? Who are we gonna like? What are you gonna do?
Kruger.
Okay. Which we didn't see. Like I feel like this is the problem, right? Like as good as Emily Fox has been, like this is a long tournament. These games are quick.
Well, it's a pretty short tournament actually.
I would say it's long in terms of if you're playing these players every single match.
Well, yeah.
That's the problem I'm having is like
there's quick turnover.
Yeah.
You're playing every 3 days.
If you're getting a bunch of minutes, that feels long. That's more what I'm saying. And so I feel like it's just like at some point maybe we should be saving some people's legs and we're not.
But now we're into the Olympic semifinals, so you don't really have that choice. And especially if you're not going to fucking sub, then don't put the people in that you're not going to sub out that you think might not be good. It's just it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, man. Like
it's just been like so much discussion about our depth and then we're just not using any of it.
Yeah.
So cool. Love that.
I didn't watch like the presser afterwards or anything, so I don't know. I know that there were gonna be a lot of questions about that for Emma Hayes, but other than that, I mean, an extra time for, shout out to the pink-haired players, Trinity Rodman, great ball from Crystal Dunn from the center of the field to the right side of the box, and Rodman just takes a really great touch, makes space for herself, and hits it with her left foot.
Really good way to make space for herself, but also the shot was really, really well taken.
Incredible. She looked surprised that it went in.
Well, my girl, we've seen you do this.
Yeah, but there was like some discussion I was seeing that she had spoken this year for her club team, saying that she wanted to work on getting better with her left-footed strikes.
Okay.
So
that's paying off now.
It seems to have worked
at the exact right time too.
Yeah, and Pino got to be there to see another pink-haired player score.
She did, and she looks so happy.
I know she's hugging Mia Hamm and Cindy Parlow Cones right behind them.
Love seeing her there. Kind of fun fact that I saw from the post-match recap on the U.S. soccer website. The U.S. have 12 consecutive wins. Like the U.S. women's national team has 12 consecutive wins in France, dating back to the 2019 World Cup.
We love winning in France.
That's so great. I love that. Love that for us.
Yeah, so we were going to play the winner of the Canada-Germany game.
I was really rooting to get Canada. I have mixed feelings about Canada still being in this tournament, but I did want to play them, and now I'm kind of bummed we're not getting that.
Yeah. I don't know, because they look pretty dangerous.
They did. I'm not saying it would have been easy. And I know we beat Germany, so I didn't know what we were going to get out of playing Canada, but I still wanted that. I still wanted that challenge.
Yeah, the first half of the Canada-Germany game, so that game was at 10 a.m.
Snooze fest.
Yeah, first half was an absolute snooze fest. And then second half, it was like, oh my God, somebody's definitely got to score before this game's over. And then they didn't.
No.
And then they didn't in extra time. So then they went into penalties.
Well, the good news is our rain player made their penalty.
Yeah, they did.
In Canada. Everyone else.
Good job, Quinn.
Not so hot. There's one other player that made it, but everyone else.
Adriana Leon.
Yeah, everyone else is not looking good. I did say I was saying to myself before the game even started, I was like, if this game goes to penalties, I'm not super confident in Canada, just because I was thinking about their mental space right now and everything. I mean, it could have gone one of two ways, obviously, but to me, it's just like they've had so much on their shoulders, and Germany just got their asses kicked.
Well, and the coaching staff couldn't help because they'd already sent the drones home.
Also that.
Obviously. But shout out Anne-Katrin Berger. Germany's goalkeeper.
Got new Gotham goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, she's been Gotham all year, but absolute ice queen, man. Hold an air. She almost saved three. She almost saved three. One kind of went underneath her, Adriana Leon shot, and it kind of went underneath her, but it had this insane spin on
Yeah.
it, and it just like kind of rolled behind her. So
She didn't let it phase her though, because she came back right after that. She scored her kick.
yeah, right after that, she scored
Right
her
after
kick
that. So
to
yeah.
put Germany through. And in the very first kick, the first player that walked up, she just stood there in the middle of the goal line with her arms behind her back.
I know she did that for all of them, and I was like, this is an interesting strategy.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I also liked her goal, like her gloves matching her boots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for those kinds of like little things.
Germany moves on. We'll play Germany on Tuesday.
Yeah. And then Colombia Spain match was wild. I watched most of that match. Colombia, I always get so heartbroken for them when they don't get further than they do. They work their asses off and they have so much talent on their team, but I still think that they're just the composure to finish out a match is not there yet.
No, it feels like their program is just like 5 years behind.
Yeah, which is such a shame. But the good news is, well, we'll see how Caicedo's injury is. But Caicedo's very young, so I think they've still got a very bright future.
And, they didn't give up. I mean, they went up 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And they had something like 20% possession in the first half. It was crazy. I mean, but at the same time, Spain didn't look that threatening. They had a ton of possession. They had a lot of, passing in the final third, but they just like weren't getting shots off that were helpful in any way.
Jenny Hermoso subbed on, scored. She loves scoring.
And I was so happy for her.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not root for her, obviously. And then they got another last minute goal in the second half of the regular time, tied it up, went to penalties. Rough to watch.
Yeah.
I know you're like a sicko for them just because you're a goalkeeper, but
I love them.
Yeah, I'm a
Give me the
little.
pressure. Give me the pressure.
I know. Sicko behavior. Spain won that. Good for them. Always good to see someone who has won the World Cup keep going because there seems to be that curse sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
In the Olympics afterwards, the US has been very bad about that. I would like Spain to lose to us at some point, but we know that's going to take time. Another wild match. This day of women's soccer in the Olympics has been just wild. I did take a small nap. If I had to. Okay, we're West Coast time. This started at 6 a.m. for us. But the Brazil-France game, I put that on after I got off my dog walk. And guess what? We got 2 more matches for Marta. France just kind of has been falling apart in matches.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to them. I feel like
they just kind of dilly-dally.
Yeah.
They just dilly-dally.
They fell apart. Porcillo balled out. And also, this is apparently her first ever international goal.
Insane.
Game winner, 82nd minute. And there's almost like at least 2 fights of the field. I saw Cascarino punch Angelina in the arm because Angelina just
she punched at her. She didn't really hit her that hard.
She would have been fine if it made full contact. I think
Yeah.
because she came back with her fist like closed, trying to get a swing at her because there's just a fistful of jersey from Angelina trying to stop the attack. And like I do not blame Brazil at all for this tactic. Like it worked out for them very, very well.
Yeah. And a riled kind of shook France up and
oh yeah. And the crowd there was insane because home field advantage. France was, really, really into it. Got the upset though. Brazil got the upset. And now they're gonna have a chance for a medal.
I was watching the post game and like they were just showing the players celebrating on the field, and there was a moment where of course they're showing Marta up in the box because she couldn't dress for the game because she's on a red card suspension. She was obviously like very emotional.
Yeah.
But then they showed the field players, and the field players you see them start pointing up.
Yeah.
And they're like doing this, like the I'm a bad millennial, like this.
I'm gonna Gen Z it.
My hands don't work like that. Wait, I got it.
There you go. Okay.
For everyone listening, Coop had to teach me how to do a hand heart. But they were doing hand hearts. They were doing hand hearts up at Marta and like pointing to her, and she just like kind of broke down.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna get to play another game.
Two games. She's playing for a medal.
As long as she doesn't get red carded.
You're right. Okay. She at least gets to play one more game.
Yeah.
Well, part of a game. Who knows? Super happy for her. That red card was just bad that she got, but
Oh yeah, it was
no one. I don't think anyone wanted to see that be the end of her international career. So
no, I mean even the players from the other team were like
fuck.
consoling her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they were upset.
Oh no, am I a part of the last international game Marta plays? I don't
Yeah.
want this to be it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was probably a really good motivator for Brazil in this match.
Yeah.
So good for them. I think so. I have some personal stuff going on. So we're going to be taking at least a week off from recording, which I won't be able to watch any of the semis live, unfortunately. I'll probably watch them later when I am coherent from what I have planned. I don't know. We could probably
Your ayahuasca retreat. It sounds like you're going on an
yeah,
ayahuasca retreat.
we're gonna call it an ayahuasca retreat. If you know, you know. That'll be really, really exciting. We've got Brazil's gonna be playing Spain. That's gonna be a really, really fun one. I mean, this top four for this is really just, I think most people you want to see at least one underdog get in something like this. I think that's Brazil, especially when you know they didn't have Marta. And then you've got the World Cup champion, got the US, and you've got, I guess, Germany maybe is the underdog.
I would say Germany because like having Lena Oberdorf
Yeah, yeah.
out with ACL, like that's been a big hit to them.
So there's that. And then they also just lost to the US pretty badly. So
Yeah.
I guess, we got two underdogs and two big dogs. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Germany's game plan for the game against the US. I mean, they might learn a little bit from how Japan played us today. But, you know, Germany's also the only team to score on us.
okay.
So
Yeah.
they'll probably lean into that a little bit too, and maybe, you know, try and surprise us with a little bit more attack.
I'm excited. Sad I can't watch it live, but I'll get to it when I get to it. Wraps it up for the Olympics. We'll take another quick break.
Be back in a bit.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes Nos Arietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
And we're back. Other notes. So we talked about Mondesir.
Yep.
Coming in. Yeah,
Yep.
we saw pictures of her at practice.
Yep.
So, woo. Looking forward to that.
Oh, they're happening. I guess our prediction of we missed our chance. We should have just done it. We should have just made her cool play of the match, and then maybe she wouldn't be gone.
I wanted to say Amazing Summer.
I did too. We're gonna have a Sam Mesa summer. It's just gonna be in Dallas.
Yeah. So Sam Mesa her contract was extended by a year. But she was loaned out to Dallas Trinity in the USL Super League, which is great for her.
Super great.
She's had a really kind of wild rookie season where that has not gone the way that any player would want it to go. And apparently her family lives in Dallas, so she'll get to be closer to home, get a lot more playing time, hopefully.
Yeah, their season runs at a different time than the NWSL.
Yeah, they're on the European schedule.
So I think that'll be really good because then hopefully it times up that she can come back to the Reign.
Yeah, so it's just a loan. So I think this is just such a positive thing for the league to have.
Oh yeah,
that relationship with the Super League, because it's players like this that really need that.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work I mean, we talked about this in our interview with Mariah, but it doesn't work for every player to have to go do your loan abroad or whatever it is. Go try to get your early career jump start. Not everyone, it doesn't make sense for everybody to go abroad.
Right.
Logistically, it's difficult, and mentally, sometimes it's just easier to be closer to home.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't guarantee player welfare when they're, at these smaller clubs in Europe, at least here, in the Super League, at least there are minimum standards that need to be met.
Yeah, and then you're also talking about it's going to be a lot easier for these players to get scouted now for the NWSL. I think it's good. I'm happy she's getting this chance.
I was shocked. I was shocked at first.
And then you reasoned
And
with
then once I
yourself.
got over my shock, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect for her.
Next match for the Reign, as we said, won't be until end of the month, Sunday, August 25th, 7 p.m. Lumen Field versus Carolina Courage.
It's the Rapinoe jersey retirement match.
I bought my tickets. There is a link on the Sounder Heart website if you want to go there. I believe you get a little bit of a discount on tickets.
And you have to be a subscriber.
Do you?
I think so.
Okay, we'll go subscribe.
Yeah, just go subscribe.
There's a link there. Go to subscribe. Yeah, I think you get a little bit of a discount, and then Sounder Heart also gets like a little bit from that too. Just so you're helping out so many things. Yourself and this community that puts together good coverage for your favorite NWSL team.
North Carolina's sitting pretty good though. They're in 6th place, so they're 8-1-7, and they're still in the Summer Cup. So we'll see kind of what the lineup looks like when season starts back up.
Not. I don't like playing North Carolina ever. I really don't. But I am hoping that having Rapinoe there in attendance and like the celebration around that,
Yeah.
maybe is a little bit of an inspo for them.
You know what? I just thought about this.
What?
Maybe they'll announce her ownership stake.
Oh, maybe that'd be sweet.
You know, like
I thought you were gonna say maybe they'll announce she's unretired and then she just gets on the field. and that's our summer signing.
it wouldn't be the worst thing to ever happen, honestly. No, but I think that'd be cool. You know, like the club giving back to her for, you know, her years of playing here, and then like a kind of a mutual thing where she's like, yeah, by the way,
I'm boss lady.
I don't know. This is like a weird thing I just thought of. It's probably not happening, but
like at some point there's got to be some involvement with her back into the club on like ownership level, business level. Something has to happen with her.
Yeah.
I assume it sounds like they have to be hanging her jersey from the rafters, right?
Yeah, they'll do like a number retirement,
which will be the first Reign thing installed into the stadium.
Do you not have the shield wins up?
Nope. It's
even the one we won at home.
Yeah, they don't put them up there. Apparently it's like super, super expensive and like it's just hard to do and get up. Doesn't feel like a good excuse to me, but that's what I had been reading about it. So
well, if the Sounders can afford it for their teams,
that's what I'm wondering now that like the Sounders are kind of overseeing stuff. Maybe they'll not pay for it. Maybe we can look into getting an update on that.
Yeah.
If and when Rapinoe gets hers up in the rafters, we can follow up on that. Anything else exciting going on? Do you watch anything else in the Olympics that you liked?
Oh, no. I mean, there's been so much soccer today. I feel like I'm just like zoned out on soccer.
Yeah, I'm zoned out. I think we can probably wrap it up for this week.
Catch us on the socials. Like I said, Coop's going to be out. But I will be available if anyone would like to email the podcast. I will answer you. You can email us at thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
Van's getting the Instagram. We're trying to figure out what direction we want to go there. But we will get that going, figure that out. Instagram and our Twitter handle are both the same, at Cooler Guild Pod. Follow us on there. We'd appreciate that if you're on there.
Please. We're fun. We're fun online.
That's right.
And then as always, visit us at sounderatheart.com/thecoolerguild.
Go there, subscribe, get a paid subscription, be a backer if you want. Be a backer, be a supporter. You can sign up for free, get access that way if you want. Can't afford it right now. It's a great place to go. Good coverage with Ride of the Valkyries. Go check them out too.
As always, like, rate, subscribe to this podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Till next time, I'm Coop.
I'm Van.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just put my phone on the mute.